What is up, you guys, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to your weekly channeled messages from Mawa. Ooh, that was so Leo rising of me. I'm sorry. My Aquarian moon is like, stop it, stop it, stop it. You're embarrassing us. Welcome to your weekly channeled intuitive messages, where we go over a little bit of the general astrology and go over what the week will be like for you. If you're new here, my name is Tawny Michelle, and basically I do a bunch of cool spiritual videos and shit, so you should subscribe. I'm a weirdo, and that's just that. And I love being a weirdo. So if you love being a weirdo and you love cool spiritual shit, then join us. So basically what we're doing in this video is like the usual weekly readings. I'm going to go over what this week is going to be about for us as a collective and why this week is such a big deal. Still, we are still in some intense energy right now because of the Saturn-Pluto conjunction that is happening this week. So I'm going to go over a little bit of the astrology for us in general, but this week is going to be a little bit different reading wise. I'm not going to do readings for each of the signs just because that takes so long to do, you guys. That's like a lot of work, and I already do the sign readings for the month, and also because I want to save my energy because I'm working on other really cool videos that I'm coming out with this week, and because I really honestly love pick a card readings. And I know that my pick a card readings aren't as popular as some of my other videos, but I love them, and so hopefully you guys will grow to love them as well. And so that is what we are doing. If you do not want to hear about the general energy and the astrology and how this week is going to be affecting everybody, then you are free to go ahead and pick your pile and fast forward to that timestamp. If you like to pick with crystals on it, I have now added some really cool ass crystals, and I only know, I think this might be aquamarine. I'm not exactly sure. This is clear quartz, this is amethyst, and I'm not sure what exactly this is. I forget the name. I have it written down somewhere, but as you can tell, I'm not a huge crystal, I'm not a very knowledgeable crystal person. I do love them, and I have a lot of them, but as far as the names, I forget a lot, so don't judge me. So as you can see on the screen, these are the piles, these are the cards, these are the crystals. This is pile number 1, this is pile number 2, this is pile number 3, and this is pile number 4, and timestamps will be below. So let's get into it. So the reason why this week is such a big deal, the events that are happening this week have been very long awaited by many of us who study astrology because of the Saturn-Pluto conjunction that I'm sure that you've heard of by now. At least you've heard of it if you watch my videos or if you're into astrology at all. Okay, so we have Saturn, the big dog, the king of the freaking rave party that I said a few weeks ago. Because he is in his ruling sign, so he trumps everything else that is going on in that sign, all of the other freaking rave party of planets that are going on in Capricorn. And basically Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn, like I just said, and Saturn is restriction, it is accountability, responsibility, it is basically the rules and authority and how we structure ourselves, how we structure our lives. It is about working hard until you get it right. It is about doing the work and, you know, facing the consequences, whether it's good or bad. Because of that reason, Saturn is also the ruler of time and karma. So Saturn and Pluto have been dancing around each other for the last year, and Pluto basically is the planet of transformation. It is the phoenix rising from the ashes. It rules our deep dark truths, our shadow, and basically investigations and our secrets, and it also rules power. Okay, so Pluto is that really hardcore transformation energy. It deals with evolutions, and Capricorn is also somewhat a sign of power, you could say, and because of that Saturn ruled energy, it can rule institutions and all of that. So like we've been talking about, those planets are meeting up together for Pluto to transform and restructure the way that we see power in the world and where the power comes from, who has the power, how we define power. I think that's a really good way to put it because Saturn is kind of defining things, it's restriction, and so it's kind of this defined space. And so Saturn is meeting up with Pluto and is like, yo, you know, what are we going to do about this? How are we going to change this? What have you been gathering all these years since 2008? And basically, how can we help restructure and transform these areas of consciousness, these areas of life? And Capricorn is a feminine, physical earthy sign. And so the sun and Mercury also were just conjunct there this past weekend. And so wherever you have Capricorn in your chart, you have been redefining those areas of your life. You have been redefining your power in those areas. You have been transforming and going through major construction in those areas of life. So how you want to find Capricorn in your chart is by knowing your rising sign. Whatever your rising sign is going to tell you where you have Capricorn in your chart. If you don't know how to look at your chart or figure that out, you can always either book a reading with me, which is down in the description below, or you can watch your monthly readings or the last week's readings for the Cancer lunar eclipse. I talked about where Capricorn and Cancer are in your charts and what they are doing. Also, even in the January 2020 predictions video for each sign as well. So basically, wherever you have Capricorn in your chart, like I said, has been going through a major transformation since 2008, and Saturn is meeting up here to really throw in some discipline to make sure we are learning the lessons and to wrap up any old closed karma that we no longer are needing to hang on to, anything that we need to let go of, anything that we need to face. Consequences are high right now, so watch what you do. We are clearing out karmic slates and like beginning new ones. So wherever you have Capricorn in your chart, so it's really important to know that. So that is why this week is such a big deal. Mercury is also moving into Aquarius this week, so our minds are going to be very busy thinking about Aquarian types of things, you know, wanting to think about humanity and the collective. There may be a lot of talk on how to better the environment, how to better humanity, how to tap into collective consciousness, and just all of these different things. And we may also see information come out to the public, to humanity, and there's just going to be all these different conversations going on. I do always think of Aquarius as like higher forms of technology as well. So there could be some talk of that going around. That is what's going on. Venus is going to be moving into Pisces this week, and Venus is exalted in Pisces. And so Venus is going to be feeling herself very creative. And this is a time where you do have to somewhat be careful because Venus will be basically meeting up with Neptune eventually, and Neptune can dilute things and Pisces can dilute things. It can make things very foggy. It can make things very confusing. So make sure that you're just looking at things with that still realistic standpoint from Capricorn that we've been learning about for a while now, but also letting yourself thrive and have visions of the future. And it's really just a balance between wearing the rose-colored glasses and taking them off, okay? So, but I think Venus is really going to help us like soften up the edges of Capricorn and be a little bit more dreamy, a little bit more mystical, and a little bit more creative and imaginative. But because we just ended the lunar eclipse in Cancer, the moon is in its waning phase until we have the new moon in Aquarius. So you may still feel a flushing out of energy. You may be kind of exhausted. I feel that's what I intuitively feel, that there may be like the next few weeks would be very good to just reflect and to really start thinking about, you know, everything that you've had to go through to get to where you are today and everything that has made you who you are today. And no like over analyzing, no trying to pick things apart, just accepting it for what it is, accepting it at face value and moving on and being able to let yourself work on your dreams realistically, but also have some time to play with that Venus and Pisces. So that is the energy that we will all be feeling this week. Now let's go ahead and get to your readings. So if you haven't already picked a card, once again, this is pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, and pile 4. And basically what you want to do when picking a card, if you don't know how, is to look at each pile. Well, first you want to kind of take a deep breath and close your eyes and look at each pile. You know, kind of look at it for like a couple seconds each and see if anything puts pressure on your third eye, which is around right here, or in any of your chakras, your minor chakras up here in your crown. Like you may feel a tingling sensation or just something along those lines, or you can even close your eyes and see if, you know, a number comes to you as you close your eyes. Those are the ways that you can pick a pile. Now, if none of this stuff happens while you're trying to pick a pile, then maybe these readings will not resonate with you since they are general readings. But if you would like to just still pick a pile just to see, that's 100% okay. So let's go ahead and get into it. What's going on, pile number one? This is for those of you that picked this pile with this beautiful crystal on it. I have no idea what it's called or what it is, but it is really pretty. I forget. So let's go ahead and see what is going on with you guys, pile number one. Oh my God, beautiful. First card first. We have Sacred Sexuality. That is gorgeous. Let me move some of these back so we can make some room here. Okay, so then we also have Higher Perspective. These are the Threads of Fate Tarot, by the way. I get a lot of questions every time I use these, so please listen. These are the Threads of Fate Tarot. Okay, we have the Warrior as well. Definitely looks like some Aries energy in this card. So, doesn't have to be though. Sorry, I just needed to move that down a little bit. But definitely looks like some Aries energy in this card that you guys could be dealing with here. Let me kind of face them this way, even though you probably can't see them. Yeah, you can't see that, probably. Okay, so then we have the Chariot reversed. We have the Wheel of Fortune. We have the King of Swords reversed and the Seven of Wands reversed. Wow, okay. So pile number one, you kind of feel that something in your life is out of your control completely, like someone else just took the reins, or something happened and the ground just fell right under, like right from underneath of you with something. Or this week you may feel like that. You may feel very busy, or something unexpected may come up where you have to travel or go somewhere or make some kind of decision that you're not really sure if it's right for you. And I see that here with the King of Swords reversed as well. There may not be any logic in this. You may feel like you're being pushed. There's a lot of push and distance, something to do with distance, push and pull here. Like you're almost just kind of having to do something, or you're having to go back to something as well. Or this could be someone coming back in your life from the past that it's really time for you to be able to move on from, I feel. Now, here we have like, I'm not sure where Sacred Sexuality comes in at with this just yet, so give me a minute so I can get something off that while I'm channeling the rest of this. But basically we have the Higher Perspective here and the Warrior. So pile number one, I definitely feel that warrior energy. It's like you're either being pushed or you're pushing yourself. With the Wheel of Fortune upright, you're doing it in a way that's with the universe, which is weird because everything else suggests that you are almost pushing against the grain. But this week may have you feeling like you're a little bit alone, or you're a little bit like you're going against the tides. You have became a victim to something, or someone feels like a victim to something. And here with Higher Perspective and the Warrior, I really feel that pile number one, you're being asked to look at this from a higher perspective. So, especially with the Wheel of Fortune here, I feel like you have a lot of doubts if you're on the right path or if you are making the right decisions. I feel that tremendously for you. But with the Wheel of Fortune here, this is telling you that this is truly happening for a reason, that you truly are going through something for a reason, whatever this is. And I feel like it may have something to do with your sexuality. Now, hear me out before you're like, how is that? I feel from this, with this Sacred Sexuality card with the roses all over it, you're going through a transformation of how you feel about yourself. And our sexuality is in this part of ourselves that is basically our shadow. Now, a lot of us I feel like a lot of people don't really understand the shadow completely or fully, but it is this like reptilian part of you that you've pushed off in order to please and basically have connection with other people, that you have really denied, this part of yourself that you have denied in order to be accepted and liked by other people. Now with Sacred Sexuality here, I feel like you are holding a part of yourself back that for whatever reason is coming up in this reading that you're being asked to take a look at. You are being asked to let out this primal force within you this week somehow. It may not be through the act of sex. It may be through the act of finding confidence within yourself, because right now it's like you feel like you're going against the grain. You feel like you're not getting a break, or there's just all these crazy unexpected things, like you're just going in this circle constantly and you never know if you're going to be up or down. But Lady Fortuna is on your side. I think you're being asked to slow down a little bit. I think you're being asked to reflect and to get out of your head. And this is funny because this is something we're working on in my online course right now. You're being asked to ground, because a lot of people think, like, it's really funny how this happens actually. So we get all up in our heads, King of Swords reversed, right? We get all up in our heads and we think like we're accessing our higher chakras, but what we're doing is we're closing off our base chakra, which is our root chakra. And a lot of people in spirituality will talk about basically like your higher chakras, your third eye, blah, blah, blah. But a lot of people, not enough, I don't hear it enough personally, but I feel like the root chakra isn't talked about enough, because you cannot be balanced in any of your other chakras or aligned in your any of your other chakras if your root chakra isn't good, okay? Like, you just cannot. It's not going to happen. So in order to access these other chakras in a way that's not unbalanced, because obviously there's something unbalanced going on with your thinking, there's something unbalanced going on with your head here. Like, I really feel like you guys feel like you cannot get a break, like, you know. And the way I'm looking at these cards is like, if you look at them upright, he's like racing towards her and she's like, stay the hell away from me. And so basically what I'm seeing here, pile number one for you guys, is that in order to balance out these upper chakras, you first have to ground. You first have to balance out your root chakra or your base chakra, however you want to put it, which is located at the tail of your spine. And there's tons of ways you can do this. And I have, like, we're going over all of this in my online course, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. But basically, you need to ground. And there's, like, you can Google it. There's tons of ways that you can ground, but doing this is really going to help you align and help you, because I feel like you have a lot of fear right now, and I feel like you don't have a direction. Like, your mental thinking does not have a direction, and like connecting to your sexuality, which starts with connecting to your root chakra, because your sacral chakra, which is the next one above it, can deal with sexuality, and so can your root chakra. Doing that will help align you and also help you see things from a higher perspective, because you see this card and you think you would need to connect to your upper chakras to do that or whatever, but no, you need to connect to your root chakra. It will help everything else align, and you will be able to see what's important, and whatever else that's not important will basically fall away, and you'll be like, oh wow, I was just freaking out over nothing. You know what I mean? You're like doing these mental gymnastics, I feel like, this week. But on kind of like the more mundane stuff, I feel like someone could be traveling back into your life this week from the past. Something unexpected could come up from the past, or with transportation in general. Or it could be like technology as well, communication or technology with the King of Swords here. But basically you're having to, if you have to stand up for yourself in any way, you need to do it. Don't let yourself play the victim, because with the Warrior card and the Seven of Swords here, you need to stand up for yourself. Like, and you also need to stand up for yourself, like, against yourself, because for some of you, I feel like this is like a war against yourself, really, you know. And so you're really being asked to like look at it from a higher perspective, and how you can do that is by grounding. But also, like, once you ground, you start realizing things. You're like, okay, what's really important? What do I really need? Like, do I need whatever this is that I'm worrying about to survive? Do I truly need this to survive? And And the funny thing is like, if the answer is yes, if you need it to breathe air, if you need it to like literally be alive on this earth in this human form, then your body will kick into survival mode anyway. There's nothing you have to worry about or do. It'll just happen. You know what I mean? Like if you see a lion, your body is going to like get into survival mode. Like, so don't let your brain like fool you, pile number one. So hopefully that makes sense. There's definitely something with distance here. I'm not sure what it is. I don't know if it's like a person that's at distance, or if you're traveling, or if you're going somewhere, or if it's like a car. I don't freaking know. But basically that is what I'm getting for you guys, pile number one. Definitely let me know down below if this ends up resonating. Do remember though that this is a general reading, so not all of you are going to resonate with it. But yeah, I love you, and I will see you guys in my other videos. Bye. What is going on, pile two? This is for those of you that have picked this pile, which is pile number two. And I believe this is like aquamarine or something. It's really beautiful though. So let's see what is going on with you guys, pile number two, for this week. So the first card we have is Get Curious. And these are the Threads of Fate Oracle cards, by the way, because people always ask me what these are. And we have Reflect. We also have Release. I'm aware that you guys probably can't see those from that angle, but it's all good. So we then have Justice, the Tower, the Prince of Swords, and the Six of Swords. So we have, and Justice, the Tower, and the Prince of Swords is all reversed. So let's go ahead and see what's going on with you guys here. So basically what I see for you guys this week, pile number two, is you feel that something is unfair right off the bat with Justice reversed. You feel that something is unfair. Either someone says something to you or said something to you that you are not able to let go. Like it's like really, really freaking bothering you. They said something, or something to do with communication. Someone I feel like pisses you off and you feel like it's super unfair. Or this has something to do with some kind of legality, documentation, written or verbal, with Justice here and the Prince of Swords. There's something you do not want to let go of. With the Tower reverse, this is like trying to hold off from something falling apart. This is really trying to like act like the tower is not going to fall, even though it's going to fall. It's just a matter of time. So, and it can be like something unexpected. So I really do feel like something unexpected here is happening with you guys this week when it comes to something that someone did or said. And I feel like some of you guys may get triggered with something unjust that is shown to you on the internet that is really like bothering you, because we have the Six of Swords here, which in this deck is labeled as science, and I've seen that in a lot of decks, because the Six of Swords can sometimes be like the internet, technology, that kind of thing, and with the Prince of Swords here. So I kind of see like this social justice warrior movement here for some of you guys. So be careful with that, because with the Six of Swords here, you know, it's also normally somebody getting away, someone leaving something behind. So you may have to leave something behind this week. Now, this doesn't just have to be on the internet. It could be in person as well. But either you get something by mail, email, some kind of communication that really bothers you, that you feel like is really not fair, that you feel like is really unjust, and you're not able to look at both sides of the situation. You're not able to release it and let it go to look at the other side of the situation, or even put yourself in the other shoes with Reflect here. So if something does happen this week like that, make sure that you are putting yourself in the other person's shoes. Make sure that you are being fair about it. Just because the situation doesn't seem fair doesn't mean that you have to be, you know, one-sided about it either, because you're just doing the same thing if you're doing that, right? So it's really important to let it go, to really look at the bigger picture here, because we have this eye, and we also have that same eye kind of in the Tower as well. So it's kind of like what you see may not be what it seems, okay? So make sure that you are doing your research, because we have Get Curious here. Make sure that you are doing your research. Make sure that you are like you know, just looking at it out of curiosity, not letting yourself get tied to anything. Make sure that you are fact checking, and make sure that you really reflect and release anything that bothers you. Because if it bothers you, that's something within you that you need to figure out, that you need to do the mental work on, and figure out why, mental or emotional work on, and figure out why it's bothering you. Get curious about it, right? Look at people this week as a reflection of you. Look at people this week as mirrors, mirroring something about you back to you. And it may be something that you don't want to see, that you have to deal with. So definitely keep that in mind here. But through that, you will be able to move on from it and release it. But I really feel like this week is going to be a really big reflection week for you. You're really going to have to do the work to see something clearly, do the work to balance those scales out and live in harmony. It's just like you're trying to not deal with something. I feel like with this Tower reversed here, like you're trying to not see something, you're trying to not have to think about something a certain way. So you're kind of like blocking it out, but that's just going to make it worse for you. That's what people don't realize, like by doing that, by like ignoring that and like blaming other people, or like wanting other people to suffer the consequences, right? With justice reversed here, we're really only hurting ourselves. So this is something that you may feel is unjust, you may feel is unfair, you may feel like the consequences weren't enough in a situation. But you may have to deal with it. This could also be consequences that you guys are putting off, like something happened and you've been kind of like trying to escape the consequences, I feel here. So this is really important for you guys, pile number 2. So I hope that's making sense. Definitely let me know down below. If it's not resonating, then it's probably just not your reading. Remember, this is a general reading, and if you are watching this before the week has even ended yet, then you don't know if it's going to resonate or not. So do the work on yourself, and try not to react and, you know, as quickly. Try to fact check stuff, and try not to try to play God, right? Because if you're like, this person deserves this and this person deserves that, or I don't deserve this, you're basically saying that you're the end all be all of who deserves what, right? So that's kind of how you have to think about it this week. So hopefully that ends up resonating, guys. Definitely let me know down below. As always, I love you guys, and thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys in my other videos. Bye. What is going on, pile number 3? This is for those of you that picked the clear quartz pile, and let's go ahead and see what's going on with you guys for this week. So we have the Sage, we have the Outlaw, we have Play, and we have the Underworld. That's right, you guys had 4 cards fall out. Interesting. The Sage, the Outlaw, Play, and the Underworld. Okay, and then for your tarot cards, you have the 3 of Wands, you have the Ace of Wands reversed, you have the Queen of Wands, and you have Temperance reversed. So I feel that, this is interesting. A lot of fire energy here. So with the Underworld, Play, and the Outlaw, I feel that you guys may be going through a big transformation, a huge transformation where you're almost being asked to grow up. That's what I kind of feel here with the Oracle cards. So we have like the Outlaw and Play, but then we also have the Underworld and the Sage, which are basically 2 opposite energies. And then we also have Temperance reversed here, which is 2 opposites. So I kind of feel like the Underworld is really about dealing with your darkness, dealing with your power, dealing with your raw feminine energy that we all have within us, no matter who you are, what gender you are. And the Sage is about being wise, only giving advice from a place that is wise, and just really using your experience as your tool, And yeah, just being wise, and also like being like the structure, being the foundation for change in a way. So, but then we also have the outlaw and play. So I almost feel like you guys are being asked to like grow up and deal with your darkness, deal with parts of you that you may not want to deal with. And with the Three of Wands, the Ace of Wands, and the Queen of Wands here, you guys are very passionate people. You guys, I feel like, are really like, maybe this week you're kind of like wanting to stand up for somebody. You feel like it's like the right thing to do. But with this Ace of Wands reverse here, it's kind of like you're trying to do the right thing. But with the Ace of Wands reversed here, it's kind of like you don't have the intention behind it, isn't there. The purpose behind it or the point behind it isn't there. So you're kind of being like asked like to really focus on your intention, to really focus on what your intentions are in situations, instead of just being like full throttle, balls to the wall, like let's do this, Queen of Wands type of energy, right? And so I feel like that's kind of what's going on here. Like, are you focusing on your intentions, and are your intentions in the right place? And then with Temperance here, reverse, something is off balance there. And I kind of feel it's coming from that Ace of Wands. You're kind of like, okay, like I really want to do XYZ. I really want to move forward with something. Like, ask yourself, what is the reasons behind what you're doing? So yeah, basically, I feel like you guys are in this stage where you are kind of in the in-between with Temperance reversed here, and also with the underworld here. You're kind of in this in-between state of, what do I do? And in this card, like the hands are tied. So you may feel like you're not sure which direction to go. You're not sure, you know, and I feel like some of you guys may have a guide. I'm not sure who it is, if it's like a physical guide or like a spirit guide, but with this sage here, you need to listen to wisdom. You need to listen to people that have lived through what you're going through and have the wisdom. I feel like you kind of want to fight this. You kind of want to be like, you know, play that outlaw archetype out with play, and the outlaw, like you don't want to take it seriously. And you feel like, I should be doing XYZ right now, like Ace of Wands reversed, but you don't have the energy. It's like you're waiting to get out of this space, and you're really fired up about, what should I do? What should I do? What should I do? Or I have all these things I have to do. I'm busy. But the Ace of Wands reversed is like, no, like we don't have the energy right now. Like our flame is not lit right now. Like we, you know, just let it kind of, let the changes that are happening take place, settle in, and let your rebirth happen, instead of trying to, you know, because I feel like, you know, some of you guys may, with play here, some of you guys may have like these ideas for this passion that you have, but the energy is not there with the Ace of Wands. It's like, you know, you're waiting for something to take place, for these passions to happen, but the Queen of Wands is like, you know, or the Ace of Wands is like, no, we're not ready yet. We're not ready yet. You need to wait until it's complete. The reason, the intention, the spark isn't lit yet, if that makes sense. And I feel like you're possibly trying to force it. So you need to like give in and let whatever happens, instead of trying to fight it. You need to be, you know, you need to be wise about it with the sage here. You need to let yourself be guided through it. Let the universe guide you through it, instead of trying to fight it with the outlaw and play. That's basically what I'm picking up from these cards. If you're picking up anything differently, like that's totally fine. Use your own intuition, like I always say as well. And if you don't resonate with this, that's totally fine too. It's a general reading. And yeah, so let me know down below if you do end up resonating with this. And let's go ahead and move on to pile number 4. What is going on pile number 4? This is for those of you guys that picked the amethyst pile. And let's go ahead and see what's going on with you guys for this coming week. So the first card that we have is the Seeker. These are the Threads of Fate Oracle, by the way. I know a lot of people ask about these cards. We have Reclaim, we have Trust, and we have the Strength card. We have the King of Pentacles. We have the Devil reversed. And we have the Emperor. Wow, 3 major arcana cards. So this is a big week for you guys that picked this pile. So let's see here. What am I getting? So you guys are reclaiming your power with the Emperor, the Devil reversed, and the Reclaim card. You guys are reclaiming your power, and with the Strength card as well. This lunar eclipse has highlighted where you feel powerless, where you feel stuck, and you've been really trusting in the process, okay? You've been really trusting, but maybe some of you guys have been a little bit impatient, or you've been feeling like it's not happening quick enough, or whatever the case may be, and this card is asking you to trust, okay? You guys have literally had to let go of so many things. In this card, there's literally teeth, but the hands are kind of like, I don't know if they're receiving them or if they're throwing them in the air, I'm not sure, but basically I feel like you guys have had to let go of all of your old structures, your old plans, your old ways of doing things that have been around for a long time. You guys have went through tons of transformation, and you guys are finally coming out on the other side. You guys, this is just like a beautiful reading. You've came to the top, like you are reaching the top of your mountain. You have mastered whatever it is that you have been letting go of. This is completely like a whole new karmic cycle for you guys, I feel. This is completely rising to the top, letting go of anything that was holding you back, facing, like you guys have faced your fears with Strength in the Devil reversed here. You guys have faced your fears, you have faced your shadow, and you are just literally like on new ground. Like the grass is completely greener on the other side, and this is beautiful. And I feel like you're really going to start seeing that payoff this week. And I also feel that some of you guys either are business owners or want to own your own business, or something along those lines, like you want to be the boss of your own company, or you could be dealing with somebody that is that you kind of look up to this week in some way, and you could be like, just, you have these dreams, but you're really making them, you're putting them in place, you're building the foundation for them. So I do feel like you guys are going, or there's just like a position you want at your job that is more in a leadership role with the Emperor and the King of Pentacles here. So, but more than anything, I feel that you guys are embracing your power. You guys are reclaiming your power. You've been seeking it for so long. You have been looking for it for so long. And now you're at a point where it's like, trust the process. I feel some of you guys may be second guessing the process. Like now that you have it, maybe you're second guessing it and you're like, what if I fail? What if I don't make it? Like, what if I lose it? Whatever the case may be, don't second guess it. Like, you are going to be fine. If there are any fears here, you need to face them. You need to face them, and you need to trust that it's going to work out and reclaim your power. Don't let, you know, you may need to like show your teeth a little bit. You may need to stand up for yourself sometime this week, or you may need to put your foot down about something. But only you can change this direction that you've been stuck in. Only you can put your foot down and be like, okay, enough is enough. Only you can make that change in your life. Only you can reclaim your power. And that is basically what I see here for you guys. It's kind of like quick and to the point, because that's literally what I see. For a long time, you felt like you're like, how do I want to put this? Something to do with your will, with Strength in the Devil here. Like your will wasn't yours. Like you didn't have any self-will, or like you didn't, like your self-will was like defeated or low, or like you were defeated, but you went through it, like you triumphed. And it's funny because like the last pile was all about basically in the middle of that transformation, and you guys are like coming out of that transformation. Like you guys are on the other side now completely. You have faced your fears. For some of you, you have faced your fears in regards to your purpose, business, and I'm also getting a relationship. facing your fears in regards to a relationship or what it is that you want to do with your life purpose or with your career. But yeah, you guys have came out on the other end. Like in this Emperor card, there's literally a phoenix on his shield there, which is insane. So yeah, this is insane. So yeah, you guys are coming out of the darkness and into the light, and it's really, really beautiful. You guys have went through a lot of really illuminating experiences that have showed you where you want to be and where you don't want to be. And you are starting to reclaim your power. You are starting to trust in yourself and in the universe, and it's beautiful. And I really feel like you guys are really going to start feeling that energy this week if you're not already. So that is what I'm getting for you guys, pile number 4. Hopefully that resonated. Let me know down below. I know that one was a little bit of a shorter reading, but it was probably like the best reading so far. So, I mean the best in terms of like, you know, where you're at and all of that. So anyways, I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. And that concludes all 4 piles. And I will see all of you guys in my next video.